the wise, mysterious, and ever so all-powerful Darth Plagueis the Wise is undisputedly one of the most powerful Sith Lords in all of Star Wars, and unquestionably in the top 5 when considering the rule of 2 lineage established by Darth Bane. Darth Plagueis is instrumental in the rule of 2, being the one who trained and bred to perfection Emperor Sheev Palpatine, the Sith Lord who would one day bring to fruition the Sith grand plan that had been in the works and scheming for over 1 millennia, ever since the 7th Battle of Ruusan extinguished the Brotherhood of Darkness, and the entirety of the Sith Order was thought to have been smothered throughout the galaxy, and the Jedi as the sole force-dominating cult that orbited the Star Wars galaxy. However, the Sith, as we know, were sneaking around, hiding, becoming scientists, engineers, politicians, and engineers. These beings, the rule of 2 Sith, descended from possibly one of the most mysterious, unknown, and enigmatic Sith Lords, and conveniently the topic of today's video. Yes, my friends, today I'm going to be talking about the master of Darth Plagueis the Wise himself. Yes, my friends, all Force users in the Star Wars galaxy, however powerful, even Emperor Vitiate, even Grandmaster Yoda, even Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, tutored themselves to the tutelage of one or more masters in order to further their knowledge. Even the most powerful beings had to start from somewhere. And today we will be looking at Darth Tenebrous, Darth Plagueis' own master and a Bith Scientist, and how his horrifying demise makes Palpatine's gory death aboard the Death Star 2 seem like nothing. Well, my friends, let us proceed and open another holocron, dust off another manuscript, and excavate the tomb of Darth Tenebrous on Cortosis Mine, and figure out and deduce what truly happened in the events of Darth Tenebrous' death. Before we proceed, a wide variety of the students that occupy their time on campus by venturing into our archives have not yet uploaded the subscribe button into their database. If you wish to be notified for any new expansions to our archives, I implore you, use the Force to upload the new hard drive into your computer panel and subscribe. Please, my friends, it is your destiny. Now, let us begin. For the last time I call you apprentice, and I applaud your skillful use of surprise and misdirection. Perhaps I was wrong to think you had no stomach for it. This is Rugus Gnome, the public identity of Darth Tenebrous to Darth Plagueis, moments before his death. In 67 BBY, Tenebrous and his apprentice, Darth Plagueis, travelled to the planet Beldemic to investigate a load of Cortosis ore. However, the M2 mining probe had been sabotaged unknowingly by the Subtext mining and ignited a pocket of leaking gas, causing a massive explosion to erupt, though Tenebrous managed to contain the explosion. Plagueis perceived that his master, normally a Sith who was fearless and would have cheated death if he needed to, was terrified. Plagueis perceived his master's mind, invading his thoughts, and for a single moment, Tenebrous faltered while using a force field to contain the inferno. Tenebrous displayed to Plagueis that he had received a precognitive sense of his oncoming death and needed to do whatever he believed was necessary to adhere to his code and become the one true Sith. Plagueis, perceiving this, saw the opportunity to slay his master, collapsing the ceiling on the cavern onto Tenebrous. Dying, Tenebrous congratulated his apprentice on succeeding him. However, the rockfall had crossed the starship in which the 2 Sith Lords had arrived in, and Plagueis was effectively stranded in a place where he required an envirosuit to survive. When he realized that his apprentice's desire to kill him had seriously endangered the continuation of the Sith lineage, and seriously doubted that the Sith would carry on, Tenebrous expressed immense disappointment in his pupil Plagueis. Angered by this, broke the Bith's neck mercilessly with telekinesis. As the unconscious gnome slowly died, Plagueis utilized the Force to study microscopic changes in Tenebrous' body, observing the slow death of his neurons and midichlorians, something he would later employ into his own scientific designs and become a manipulator of the midichlorians, something he was most known for. However, unknown to many Star Wars fans, as we had to delve greatly into Sith lore in order to uncover this fact, this was not the end of Tenebrous, who had inadvertently searched the entire galaxy and deducted a way that he could live after death. He ensured the survival of his own consciousness into altered midichlorians, which he labelled maxichlorians, the intent being mixichlorians pushed to their absolute max limit. Those maxichlorians would then migrate not into the Force, but into Plagueis himself, the diseased one, not possessing the Bith's precision. Plagueis would never suspect Tenebrous' consciousness was inside his body, infecting cells with maxichlorians that would slowly but surely cut off his host from the Force sensitivity. In order to fulfill his goals, Tenebrous sacrificed his ability to sense the motion of the future and precognition, something he no longer required since he already knew his future. Tenebrous' ultimate scheme was to eventually present the prophesied chosen one that would arise in Plagueis' lifetime, using the power of essence transfer while they were still young and unable to resist his advances, giving Tenebrous access to a body with a historic amount of midichlorians unrivaled by any Sith or Jedi from the past. As his body began to decay, Tenebrous entered his new apprentice's body and slipped into his cells. As the retrovirus propagated, the Bith gained access to Plagueis' powers of foresight. At that moment, he discovered and felt Plagueis' own death at the hands of his own apprentice Palpatine, which was only visible as a smear of perpetual darkness. This vision horrified him. Plagueis would die too soon, and Tenebrous would not end up fulfilling his ultimate goal, seizing and becoming the Chosen One, when he would appear and become the most powerful Force user in the galaxy. Seeking an answer to understand Plagueis' complacent behaviour, Tenebrous threw again his mind at the future, but could see nothing. As the retrovirus infected Plagueis' every cell, his apprentice was now robbed of his foresight, however. His powers, that would serve him if he had possessed them greatly in his life. Wholly giving himself to panic, Plagueis unknowingly had no escape his body to think of a way out, only to discover that his mummified remains. Time had passed, possibly decades or centuries, but the Sith Lord was unaware of it. He then wondered if his foresight, instead of being eliminated, had twisted in upon itself, forcing him to endlessly relive his death, thus acquiring the coveted immortality, but not as he wanted. At the moment of realization, the Dark Lord, in his horrifying final moments, wished he still had a mouth that was now a mummified husk in which he could scream. Well, my friends, that was the final days of Darth Tenebrous. I hope you're enjoying this daily Sith lore as we venture into the ancient tombs of Korriban and dust off old manuscripts and open up holocrons. Goodbye, my friends. This is where we part ways. Be sure to adorn yourself with your Jedi robes, secure your lightsaber on your belt, and watch your back as you traverse a now scarred and worse galaxy.